And in this context, when we talk about agriculture that are mostly associated with developing countries, we talk about the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution is a major development since 1960s, mostly in developing countries. The major events that are involved in the Green Revolutions are the creation of the new variety seeds. So these are the seeds that are created through some research labs, research farms that have this trait of high yield, disease resistance, of high nutrition levels. Also, coming with new seeds, you need to have some new land management practice as well, such as provide huge amount of water irrigation to the crops and provide pesticides to control the pests, also fertilizer to provide more nutrition for the crop to grow. And the Green Revolution normally was regarded as the something as a result of public institution involvement in the agriculture. Uh, Actually, a lot of times is the public institution collaborate with private institution and to generate the new technology. For example, uh, the Ford Foundation and Rockefeller Foundations, they sponsored this events in the Rice Research Institute that was located in the Philippines to research to to invent the new variety of rice, and that other rice become uh, available, and they spread them into other developing countries. So that's really the result of a partnership between the government effort and the private institutions. Okay, and that the Green Revolution has resulted in a dramatic rise in food production, especially in grain. So this is a chart that shows that the food production, the growth more than human growth in terms of speed. So we can look at the slope of the two lines to get a sense of a food increase more rapidly than the increase of population over time. So that is part of the reason the Malthusian theory wasn't really well, did not materialize. And we know that Matthews predict that human growth will eventually surpass the growth of food, but with new technology, that kind of prediction did not come true. Now, there's a problem. The problem that comes with the success of the Green Revolution. One problem is that there's some crops they have achieved very good results, but other crops were left out. Cotton and tea, for example, are not very typical crops that there are some high yield seed varieties, but mainly the grain product, the wheat, rice, and the corn. And because wheat, rice, and corn seem to be more a product where people and animal consume, and that seems to be what regarded as more vital is the food product. The cotton, the tea, the basically industrial kind of agricultural product was not regarded as important as food and feed products such as rice and wheat and corn. Another problem that comes with the Green Revolution is rising inequality. Green Revolution farming technology is not cheap. You need to have irrigation facilities. You need to buy pesticides. You need to have fertilizers. Eventually, when you have a large farm, you also need to buy a machine. Therefore, this is very costly practice, and small and poor farmers ill afford to practice. And to practice the Green Revolution technology, you would have to go to the bank to borrow money. and poor small farmers don't have enough credit to borrow money from the banks, so they are really left out. So even if they borrow money, if there's any kind of crop failure, that would put them into deep in debt. So that's really something that can only afford by richer farmers, the farmers who have a stronger financial power. There are also some regional that cause these regional disparities. Regions that grow rice and wheat would more likely benefit from the Green Revolution. Regions that grow cotton will not. Here on this map, you see that in India, the Ganges Valley, the lower reach of the Ganges Valley, they grow rice, and the upper reaches, they grow rice and the wheat. So that benefit from the Green Revolution technology. But here for the entire uh, interior part of India, where the land is dry, beans are the major production. Here the cottons, they really as a major crop. They do not benefit much from the Green Revolution technology. So in addition, there's places where you have a success in Green Revolution technology. Farmers become larger in size. They become they can use a big machine. Therefore, they would do not no longer need to hire small, uh, no longer need to hire farm laborers. And therefore, that causes unemployment. And eventually, when it comes to talk about food supplies, it's not only whether or not a country can produce enough food, but also who can pay, also whether you have the infrastructure to ship the food where people need it. So so it does not really completely solve the food supply problem for developing countries. Okay. Here we have two pictures. On the left side, you see a big farm in Punjab, uh, state of India, and they are wealthy enough to afford a big machine, very similar to big farms that you will see in the United States. On the right side, you see the small farmers who still use hand tool to work on small land. So you cannot imagine that the farmers on the picture on the right can afford to practice the Green Revolution, yeah, technology. Now, this map gives us a sense of major types of commercial agriculture. As we said early on, that the commercial agriculture involves mixed crop and livestock. Here, most of the eastern and central United States, here part of Europe. Then there's the dairy farming here in this region to the north, in a kind of a relatively higher latitude and a low temperature. Land is not as fertile here, part of Europe. Also, this is the places where you have a big urban region that serve as big market of dairy product. Then you have this grain farming here, the grain farming here on the prairie, big plain area. Here in North America, in Central Asia, and in Australia here, near coastal region. Then you have this commercial ranching on the west in the dry land and extend to Mexico. Here in South America, you also have large tracts of land in Argentina and Brazil that practice this kind of commercial ranching. Beef is a very famous product from Argentina. Here, commercial ranching exists in Central Asia as well, large area of Australia. Therefore, Australia is also a big meat production country. Then you also have Mediterranean climate in Mediterranean region as well as in South Africa central Chile, southern California, and a part of Australia. So in addition, you have a truck farming. There's a commercial garden agriculture here in the southeastern United States to produce various kind of vegetables and fruits to supply to the market. And in addition, you have plantation here in different parts of tropical or subtropical locations.